We initiate the audit of your existence by dismantling the greatest optical illusion of the modern age, the salary. The civilian believes a salary is safety. The architect knows a salary is a subscription fee paid to you in exchange for your biological deterioration. When you sign an employment contract, you are not agreeing to perform tasks. You are agreeing to sell a finite, non-renewable resource, your lifespan, at a wholesale discount. We must perform a forensic accounting of your life hours to understand the true biological tax you are paying. The standard calculation is a lie. You think you work 40 hours a week. This is the nominal work week. It ignores the shadow work. The shadow work includes the 50 minutes you spend getting dressed and grooming for a role you hate, the 60 minutes of commute where your cortisol spikes in traffic, the 30 minutes of decompression when you get home because you are too mentally fried to speak to your family, and the Sunday night scaries, the anxiety dread that ruins 20% of your weekend. When you add the shadow work, you are not working 40 hours. You are dedicating 60 to 70 hours of your consciousness to the master. If you divide your salary by these real hours, your effective hourly rate drops by 40%. You are selling your life for pennies while believing you are middle class. This is temporal theft. The corporation is extracting 70% of your waking energy, but only paying for the 40 hours you are clocked in. They are getting the commute, the anxiety, and the recovery time for free. You are a battery that pays for its own recharging. We must then analyze the cortisol compounding. Every time your boss sends a passive-aggressive email, every time you have to meet a frantic deadline, every time you swallow your pride to please a client, your body releases a cocktail of stress hormones. In the wild, cortisol was a survival mechanism. Sea lion to spike cortisol, to run to survive to cortisol drops. In the corporate zoo, the lion is the email, but you cannot run. You must sit there and smile. The cortisol does not drop. It simmers. It becomes chronic inflammation. This is the biological depreciation of your asset. You are trading the elasticity of your arteries, the lining of your gut, and the gray matter of your hippocampus for a bi-weekly deposit. You are literally selling pieces of your physical health. When you see a 50-year-old middle manager who looks 70, gray skin, visceral belly fat, dead eyes, you are looking at a man who spent his biological capital to buy a lease on a BMW. He did not just sell his time, he sold his vitality. He traded his health span for a paycheck. The calculation you must make is this salary enough to cover the medical bills I will incur to fix the damage this job causes? Usually the answer is no. You are burning the furniture to heat the house. Let us dig deeper into the sedentary death spiral. The human body is an engineered motion machine. It requires movement to pump lymph, regulate insulin, and maintain spinal integrity. The modern salary demands that you sit in a chair for 8 to 10 hours. This is biological suicide. Sitting is the new smoking, but it is more insidious because it is mandatory. When you sit, your lipase production drops, you stop burning fat, your insulin sensitivity plummets, you become diabetic, and your hip flexors shorten, destroying your posture. You are slowly morphing into a chair-shaped organism. The ergonomic chair is a lie. It is a comfortable coffin. The biological price of the salary is the degeneration of your kinetic potential. You are trading your ability to run, jump, and fight for the ability to sit in a climate-controlled box and move pixels. You are becoming a domesticated primate. A domesticated animal is weak, anxious, and dependent on the feeder. The salary is the feed. The moment you accept that you need the salary to survive, you have handed over your biological sovereignty. You are no longer a hunter, you are livestock. Livestock does not own its time. The rancher does. We must also confront the opportunity cost of the prime years. You are selling your peak energy windows. A man's energy is not a flat line. It is a curve. Your energy at 25 is worth 10 times your energy at 65. When you sell your hours from age 20 to 40 for a fixed salary, you are selling the golden goose for the price of the eggs. These are the years where you have the neuroplasticity to learn anything, the stamina to work 18 hours on your own dream, and the risk tolerance to fail and bounce back. By locking these years into a salary, you are capping your upside. You are trading the possibility of millions for the guarantee of thousands. This is a bad trade. The corporation knows this. They hire young people because they want to harvest that high-octane energy before it runs out. They burn you out by 40 and then replace you with a fresh 22-year-old battery. They are arbitrageurs of human energy. They buy your energy wholesale and sell the product of your labor retail. The gap between what you produce and what they pay pay you is their profit. That profit is composed of your life force. You are donating your potential to their shareholders. The bonus they give you once a year is just them returning a tiny fraction of the surplus value they extracted from your soul. It is a crumb from the loaf you bake. Furthermore, we must look at the psychology of the weekend. The weekend is a scam invented to keep the battery foam exploding. It is just enough time to do laundry, sleep, and numb the pain with alcohol, but not enough time to build an escape route. The 2-day reprieve is designed to reset you just enough so you can endure another 5 days of extraction. You are not living on the weekend, you are servicing the machine. You are performing maintenance on your life so it doesn't collapse, allowing you to return to the grinder on Monday. The architect realizes that a life divided into work and life is a broken model. If you have to balance your work and your life, it means your work is not part of your life. It is an intrusion upon it. The goal is not work-life balance. The goal is work-life integration, where your work feeds your soul and your bank account simultaneously. But a salary makes this impossible because the work is not yours. You are renting your mind to build someone else's dream. You are a mercenary fighting a war you don't care about, and the PTSD from that war is the Sunday dread. That dread is your intuition screaming that you are wasting your turn on earth. Finally, in this diagnostic phase, consider the golden handcuffs of lifestyle inflation. The salary rises just enough to keep you trapped. They give you a raise that matches inflation or slightly beats it, so you buy a bigger house and a better car. Now you cannot leave. You have increased your burn rate. You have dug the trench deeper. This is indentured servitude 2.0. The debt, mortgage, car note forces you to keep the job. The job causes the stress. The stress forces you to spend money to feel better. Retail therapy, vacations, convenience food. The spending requires the job. It is a perfect self-sustaining loop of misery. You are running on a hamster wheel that generates power for the matrix. The biological price is that you live in a state of chronic low-grade anxiety. You are never truly free. Even on vacation, you are checking email. Even at your child's recital, you are thinking about the quarterly review. You have sold your mental bandwidth. You have no room left to think about who you are or what you want. The salary has colonized your mind. You are not a free man. You are an employee of the system, biologically owned by the payroll department. The first step to freedom is to look at the direct deposit notification not with gratitude but with suspicion. It is not a gift. It is a receipt for the life you just sold. We initiate the biological reclamation phase. Understanding that your salary is a death sentence is only the diagnosis. The surgery requires a complete restructuring of how you interface with the economy. The first step is to execute strategic underperformance. The soft man believes that working harder at his job will lead to freedom. He gives 110% hoping for a 3% raise. The architect understands that a job is a fixed yield bond. Whether you give 100% energy or 70% energy, the paycheck remains largely the same. Therefore, every unit of energy you expend above the minimum required to not get fired is wasted inventory. You are giving away free product. You must audit your workflow. Identify the 20% of tasks that produce 80% of the visibility and ignore the rest. You become a ghost in the machine. You appear to be working. You answer the critical emails. You show up to the meetings, but your mental RAM is allocated elsewhere. You are not quiet quitting because you are lazy. You are resource reallocation because you are building an exit. You stop volunteering for projects. You stop trying to impress the boss. You conserve that high-octane biological energy for the 5 to 9. This is the second shift. The hours between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. and the weekends are no longer for leisure. They are for digging the tunnel. You use the salary to fund the shovel, but you do not give the salary your soul. We must then implement the capitalization of time. You cannot trade time for money forever because you run out of time before you run out of need. You must decouple your income from your presence. This is the transition from laborer to owner. The architect builds digital assets. A digital asset, a video, a course, a piece of code, a book, is a clone of yourself that works while you sleep. When you record a video and put it on YouTube, you have performed the labor once, but the asset works for you 10,000 times. This is infinite leverage. A salary has zero leverage. To make more money, you must bleed more hours. With assets, you break the link. Your goal is to build enough of these little digital soldiers that their combined output replaces your monthly burn rate. This is the crossover point. The moment your passive or semi-passive income hits $4,000 a month, or whatever your survival number is, you have bought your biological freedom. You are no longer forced to sit in the chair. You can now choose to sit or stand or fly. The stress hormones drop. The inflammation subsides. You have reclaimed your timeline. Let us discuss the FU fund as biological armor. Most people live paycheck to paycheck, which means they are one bad meeting away from starvation. This creates a background hum of terror that destroys the immune system. The architect aggressively stockpiles cash. You do not buy the BMW, you buy months of freedom. $10,000 in the bank is not money. It is 3 months of, I don't have to listen to your bullshit. This liquidity is a physiological sedative. When you walk into a meeting knowing you can quit today and survive for a year, your posture changes. Your eye contact changes. You are not desperate. Ironically, this lack of desperation makes you more valuable and often leads to raises, but you must not be seduced by them. The goal of the FU Fund is to give you the courage to take the asymmetric risk. You cannot quit your job to start a business if you have $0. You can do it if you have $50,000. That money is your biological buffer against the chaos of the market. It allows you to sleep at night while you build the empire. We must also deploy geo-arbitrage to lower the biological cost. If you live in a high-cost city, New York, London, SF, you are forced to earn a high salary just to survive. This forces you into high-stress jobs. You are running on a treadmill set to speed 10 just to stay in place. The architect realizes that geography is a variable, not a constant. If you move to a location where the cost of living is 50% lower, you have effectively doubled your salary or halved the amount of life you need to sell. If you can work remotely, or if you have digital assets, you take your first world income and spend it in a developing economy or a cheaper rural area. You live like a king on a peasant's budget. This lowers the survival threshold. When you only need $2,000 to live a luxury life, the pressure to climb the corporate ladder vanishes. You can step off the ladder. You can optimize for health, sun, and food quality instead of optimizing for rent. You stop trading your life for a zip code. Now we address the outsourcing of entropy. As you begin to reclaim your time, you must ruthlessly eliminate low-value kinetic tasks. If your goal is to make $500 an hour as a consultant or creator, you cannot afford to spend an hour cleaning your house or mowing your lawn. That is negative arbitrage. You are paying yourself a servant's wage to do a servant's job. You must hire help. The soft man feels guilty hiring a cleaner. The architect views it as buying back lifespan. If you pay someone $50 to clean your house for 3 hours, and you use those 3 hours to build an asset or to recover physically in the gym, you have won the trade. You are using money to purchase time. This is the only time money can actually buy life. You automate the bills. You order the groceries for delivery. You eliminate every friction point that does not contribute to your health or your wealth. You strip your life down to the essentials: creation and recovery. Everything else is delegated to the market. We must also analyze the psychology of the consultant. To escape the salary, you must stop selling time and start selling results. A salary pays you for presence, 9 to 5. A contract pays you for value, $10,000 for a solved problem. The architect transitions to a results-based economy. You go to your boss or a new client and propose a deal. I will solve this specific painful problem for you. I will do it in my own time, in my own way. The price is X dollars. This shifts the power dynamic. You are no longer an employee. You are a peer. You are a B2B service provider. When you operate this way, the shadow work disappears. You don't have to commute. You don't have to fake niceties. You just deliver the kill. You can work with high intensity for 4 hours, deliver the result, and spend the rest of the day in the sun. This is biological efficiency. You are maximizing the revenue per calorie of output. Finally, we arrive at the sovereign health protocol. While you are executing this escape, you must aggressively repair the damage the job has done. You cannot wait until you are retired to get healthy. You will be dead. You must treat your physical training as a non-negotiable business meeting. You block it on the calendar. 12 to 1. Iron therapy. If the boss tries to book a meeting, you decline. I have a conflict. You do not explain. You stand at your desk. You take walking meetings. You bring your own food to the office to avoid the corporate fodder, seed oils and sugar. They feed the slaves to keep them docile. You wear blue light blockers. You practice breath work in the bathroom stall to kill the cortisol spikes. You are a spy in enemy territory. You are using their Wi-Fi and their electricity to build your escape pod, all while maintaining the chassis of a warrior. The ultimate biological price you want to pay is zero. You want to reach a point where your income is detached from your stress, where money flows in because of who you are and what you built, not because of how much you suffered today. This is the state of abundance. It is not just having money, it is having money and time and health simultaneously. The salary offers you one of these, money, at the expense of the other two. The architect demands all three, and he gets it by building a system that renders the salary obsolete. You do not ask for permission to be free. You buy your freedom with the currency of focused, violent execution. Break the contract, save the vessel, win the war.